Hey guys, welcome to Mikey's Video Game Madness. There have been a few people, including Dean and Longboys Post 1975. I don't even know if he knows this channel exists, but he has a good channel. You should check it out anyway. But yeah, they've been doing videos of sitcoms or TV shows, American sitcoms and TV shows in particular, that they like, and I figured maybe I should do that. I mean, I don't have a terribly huge DVD collection, but I have enough where I guess I could get by with this video. I mean, it's decent compared to people that I guess don't collect a lot of movies or shows or whatever, and I'm kind of picky when it comes to things, so it takes more time for me to accumulate movies than I guess it would games. But I've started to collect movies and TV shows a little bit more within the last year or so. It doesn't really look like it though. But I was scared I didn't have 10 TV shows. I keep on saying movies. What am I talking about? But yeah, I didn't think I'd have 10 TV shows to share with you. And I actually wanted to share more, but I'm going to stick with 10 because it's easier. And I believe all the sets are either complete that I'm going to show you, or I have all the discs that are released thus far. So I might not show you like the first season. I'm just going to show you one box. I'm not going to show you the whole season, but these are TV shows that I can watch over and over again and still enjoy them. So I'm going to start. This is probably, I'm not a huge anime fan, but this is one of the best shows, even if it wasn't an anime show that I've ever seen, and it's beautifully animated. Unfortunately, this DVD is leaves a little left to be desired. This is the Cowboy Bebop complete collection. It's a complete remix collection because it's remastered. My mother actually got me this for my birthday this year, because I used to watch it late at night and out of order or whatever, and I was like, man, I just really would just like to have the set. And she got me this, and then December 16th she also got me the Blu-rays that are gonna fix all the problems, because these DVDs, even though there's quite a few in this set, considering it's only I believe 26 episodes, they're somewhat compressed, and the DVD is supposed to fix all this, or all of that. Here's the back. I don't know if it'll show it or not. This probably doesn't show well because it's like a reflective silver color, but there's a Blu-ray set that's coming out on the 16th, depending on what you get. I think if you get it from Funimation.com, it's in like a vinyl case, like a record vinyl case. And then Amazon, I'm getting the Amazon one that comes with like 2 art books or something, and the Blu-rays, and it's supposed to fix a lot of the compression and artifacting that's on the DVDs. And I'm pretty stoked. Like, one of the things like with collecting Blu-rays and animation is that Blu-rays really show like the individual lines and stuff like that kind of get blurred out in animation when you get DVDs. So this is just a great show. It's like in the future, and like it's about like the bounty hunter, which they kind of refer to cowboys, and then the bebop is actually referring to the kind of music it plays. It kind of plays like this bebop jazz, like hip music in the background that is kind of out of sync with like the series, but it melds so well, and the stories are really interesting, and just the design of the spaceships and the attention to detail and the level of animation is beyond anything that you would see like on something that would be like a syndicated TV show. But with a lot of animes, they only stop at 26 episodes, so maybe that's why they can spend more time on it. But anyway, my first pick is Cowboy Bebop, and these are being shown in no particular order, which one I like more or less. So the my next DVD set or episodes I like is the regular show, which at first it looks like a kid's cartoon. It's really weird. That's why it's called the regular show, because there's like a raccoon, a blue jay, like a candy dispenser, a yeti, like a guy whose head's shaped like the moon. There's Muscle Man, which is really this out of shape guy that eats a lot of chicken wings. But the guy who makes it, he's probably like about a year or so older than me, so a lot of the humor is something that someone my age would get, not necessarily kids. And there's like a lot of references to the things that I grew up on, and movies and music and stuff like that. Like they, at their house, they actually play a Sega Master System, which little kids can enjoy. It actually is the last cartoon that comes on Cartoon Network before it changes into the adult-oriented Adult Swim, because it's geared towards more, I guess it's like a family thing where adults can enjoy it and kids can enjoy it too. I remember just accidentally just watching it one day because it was on, and I ended up absolutely falling in love with it. This is the first and second season, also a season 3. Those are the only ones that are released. I'm really bad at keeping up with TV shows, so I'm just gonna slowly gather the seasons when they come out, and they're really affordable because I guess they're not like HBO sets or anything that's super in demand, so they're super cheap, and they've come out like pretty quickly, so I'm guessing season 4 would probably come out pretty soon. But I absolutely love this show, and it's always something like if you're down in the dumps you can turn to. This is probably in a lot of people's collection. It is an American version of The Office. I know a lot of people think that the UK version is better. I've tried, I really have. I think the UK version is great, but there's just something about the American cast that I really like. My favorite season is the second one. I have every single season except the 9th season, which I hope to acquire shortly. I don't know why I'm procrastinating so long on it. The last couple of seasons or so just weren't the same without Michael Scott, so I haven't been in a huge rush. But they're like the first 4 seasons I really enjoyed, and the other seasons are good. They're just not as good. And this show, I end up watching the first season. I end up finishing every single DVD I have. Like once I start, I can't stop. And it's a great show. Has a dry sense of humor. I worked in like an office environment, and it really does capture the feel no matter how ridiculous it looks. I know some antics are exaggerated, especially in the later seasons, but absolutely adore this show, and I really will miss it. Well, I missed it after Michael Scott left, but I still watched it, and it was still funny. But those first 4 seasons, like that was like capturing lightning in a bottle as far as I'm concerned. So number 3 pick is The Office, and again, it's in no order. The next set I'm going to pick is Weeds, which came in this nice green. I'm guessing it's green. It looks green. I'm colorblind if you guys forgot. Acrylic set that came in this book, which Blu-rays are hard to kind of get out of, but luckily they don't scratch. But Weeds, it starts out like with this mom who sells weed in like this suburban neighborhood to try to keep up with the rich lifestyle that her and her husband had before he passed away, and she's trying to take care of the kids, and again all these antics, and then it grows kind of like how Breaking Bad started out like at humble like beginnings and just got convoluted in this huge mess. This show kind of goes in that same direction where she gets involved with the cartel and everything else, and it's just nuts. Now, last episode of this show, I'm not going to give away any spoilers because you should watch it. I believe it's on Netflix. The last episode of this show is so bizarre, but it's awesome. I can't recommend enough. Another show that once I start watching, I can't stop. Alright, this is a guilty pleasure. I'm a huge True Blood fan. I recently just finished the collection, so I actually have every episode now. This is like a vampire. Well, there's a lot of mythological creatures, and it's all in Louisiana, which I always think is great for a horror setting. I wish they would do it more with zombies and stuff like that, especially since it's human and zombies decompose more, which I think is great for The Walking Dead, because Georgia's kind of humid and stuff like that, kind of like Louisiana's more so. But I mean, I like having the zombies in the hot humid climate or anything bad, and it's just, I don't know, it just has a creepy atmosphere and stuff like that. And this show is, I don't know, like my favorite season, the second one, whole in season 3. was actually a special exclusive edition. There was several of them with different characters, and that's what the normal box looks like. I don't know why slipcover makes it so special, but whatever. I love the show. The later seasons kind of got weird. My favorite season is the second season, I think, is where the show was the best, but I liked it all the way to the last episode. Some episodes kind of rubbed me the wrong way, but it's super gory and violent. And yeah, it does have its obsessive nudity from time to time. It does have that vampire thing, but the difference between this and the other vampire-oriented shows is it doesn't really take itself too seriously. It's really campy. It's just fun, and you end up liking all the characters and stuff like that. And I always go to this show sometimes, and it's another one. All these shows are shows that once I start, I really can't stop watching. So I really love True Blood. It's a guilty pleasure, and I'm not afraid to admit it. So yeah, on to the next thing. This is Batman the Animated Series, the first Batman show that was actually just released on DVD and Blu Ray recently. Was a 60s series, but the Batman that I know and love, beside the two Michael Keaton movies, this is what really made me fall in love with Batman. This is what made me want to read the comics. This is what made me want to rewatch the Michael Keaton movies, because I wasn't too keen on them until after I watched this. And this just made me fall in love with the Batman character. These episodes are so well done. I only have to season 3 because then they changed the animation style and stuff like that, and the tone was geared towards more kids. There's a couple of serious episodes, but this is just so good. It has an orchestrated soundtrack like a film. The animation is top notch. Actually, the people who animated Tiny Toon Adventures actually animated this, and I don't know, like, you can't tell that it's the same people. When they did these episodes, they actually started on black paper instead of white, and it has like the look of the old, I don't know if you guys remember, like the old Superman cartoons from like the 40s. It kind of has that same feel, and the animation's just really fluid. The storylines are interesting. They took like a lot of uninteresting characters from the comic book and actually gave them interesting storylines, like Mr. Freeze, which has carried on. A lot of what's in here actually carried on to the Arkham series of video games, which I'm sure if you guys watch my channel, you know what they are. But yeah, and a lot of people that did the voices of those characters are actually voicing a lot of the characters on this. So if you're a fan of the Arkham games, I would definitely recommend checking out Batman the Animated Series. This is probably my favorite version of Batman, and it's Tim Burton movies. And I actually just recently, which was it's amazing, I got the Dark Knight Returns. I think it's the deluxe edition, because you can buy them separately. There's part 1 and part 2, but if you get the deluxe edition, it combines it into one movie. And Peter Weller, who does the voice of RoboCop, actually does the voice of Batman. And it's Batman when he's older and he's retired, and he goes and dresses up like Batman again, and they're kind of against him because there's a new commissioner, and he actually gets in a fight with Superman. And since it was written in the 80s, it has that Cold War feel to it, and Ronald Reagan's still the president, and it's just epic. But we're not talking about that. We're talking about the animated series. This is probably one of the best versions of Batman, and a lot of people's favorite version of Batman. When I was a kid, like, I think this came out 92, between 92 and 93, I would literally, no matter what I was doing, I would literally run home and watch this. This show contains like around the time where I had some of my favorite memories of my whole life, and just watching this show recaptures a lot of that. This was an important part of my childhood, and probably a lot of other people's childhood, and I just can't recommend this show enough. If you can stand watching cartoons as an adult. If you're a kid watching this, bless your heart for watching my channel. Cover your ears when I curse, but you should watch it too. Fun for the whole family. They actually aired the first few episodes on prime time a few times. I probably showed this before. This is the real Ghostbusters. The reason why it's called the real Ghostbusters, there was actually a shitty cartoon before it that I remember called Ghostbusters, and it had like this dude and like a gorilla and all this crap, and they couldn't use the name Ghostbusters for copyright reasons. But this is actually a continuation of the movies. The people involved in the actual movie didn't want their likeness, so they recreated the characters and stuff like that. If you haven't seen me show you this set before, I'll show you what they look like compared to like Bill Murray, Dan Aykroyd, and Harold Ramis, but that's what they ended up looking like at the end. And there's actually a video of what they initially planned for them to look like, and they looked closer to their movie counterparts, but they ended up changing it in the long run. But the first I'd say 4 seasons are really well animated. There's maybe the beginning part of season 4, and then they changed animation companies and the detail got lower because parents complained that the cartoon was too violent, and a lot of the stuff that was cool about the show got toned down a bit, so the moms weren't as upset because they had really creepy stuff like a punk rock looking boogeyman. They had like the headless horseman, but to stay like fresh, he was like on a motorcycle throwing pumpkins that explode around the city. And there was actually like pop music with lyrics and stuff in it. It just captures like the 80s so well, and it's animated so well. They actually, along with a lot of 80s cartoon, actually outsourced their animation overseas to like companies that were used to drawing anime, and it shows. Because I mean, you can not like anime or as much as you want, but if you put anime against like an animated TV show, not a movie, because back in the day when they actually had feature films that were drawn by Americans that were actually animated, they actually are hand drawn, they actually looked quite well. But as far as TV shows go that were American, looked extremely cheap and didn't look well at all. And like, I mean, some of the episodes on the real Ghostbusters look like they're like and I'm sorry for all this background noise, they look like they belong in a feature film, and some of the stories are pretty dark. Like, beside the ones I mentioned, they go and they actually have a fight against Cthulhu and have to find the Necronomicon. They fight the 4 horsemen of the apocalypse. There's like a lot of references to the cult and stuff like that, because there was episodes that aired, I think, on ABC, I believe it's what it aired on, and there was episodes made for syndication, and the syndication episodes, they could get away with a lot more of the dark stuff. But it's excellent, and the people who wrote the show, some of the people, I know one of the writers ended up writing, I don't watch the show, but I know it's popular with a lot of people, like Babylon 5 and some of the darker Spider-Man comics, so it's great. This show, whenever I am like super depressed, I can always count on watching Tim and Eric cheer me up. This show is not for everybody. It's purposely stupid. They purposely has bad edits. It's basically supposed to be the nightmare version of Access Television. I have all 5 seasons. I would be more than happy to pay for more if they ever decided to make more, to own them. Like, this is one of my all-time favorite shows because it's so random, so bizarre. It's like a David Lynch randomness almost. And sometimes it's downright disturbing and weird, and you almost feel inebriated when you watch it. You can't explain it. You just have to watch the show. You'll either get it or you absolutely hate it. I absolutely love Tim and Eric. Then their weird, sick sense of humor, and it's childish and weird at the same time, and it's just like you'll either get it or you won't. I fortunately get it. Like, the first time I ever saw a clip from this show, I was like, I have to know what happens next in the show. I gotta know everything. They stopped at 5 seasons. They have different shows like Tim and Eric Bedtime Stories. They came out with a $1 billion movie, which I wasn't too crazy about. Then they have like a spin-off, which is also like an Access Television version of Check It Out with Steve Brule, which I can't think of the guy's name because I'm on camera right now, but it's the dude that does the voice of Wreck-It Ralph, if you remember who that is. But even their DVD cases are like obnoxiously bad design. Like, it's just bizarre. And then they hide like artwork behind their DVDs, and they're super cheap. They're easy to afford, and if you get it, like, I can't recommend these videos enough, but I can't explain it. There's no intelligence in this whatsoever, and it's not like a sitcom that's trying to be smart. It's like really poorly produced on purpose, like Access Television quality TV show, and I absolutely love it because it's so bizarre, and every time you watch it, it feels new because you don't really, it's hard to explain, like, you're just getting so much stupid, weird information all at once. It's more like an experience than just watching a movie. You're not like, oh, this is gonna happen next, this is gonna happen next. You just watch it and just a bunch of bizarre shit happens to you, and it always feels bizarre. You never get used to it. And I absolutely love it, but it's one of those shows people either hate or they like. In Portlandia, it's like a sketch show with these two people right here, like Carrie Brownstein and Fred Armisen. I'm probably saying his name wrong, even though I heard a bunch of times, but like when I'm on camera I get really anxious and I can't think straight. Fortunately, I only have the 3rd season. I want to get the first 2 seasons and the seasons after that. I absolutely love this show. Portlandia, like, they basically dress up as like all these different characters in Portland, and apparently Portland's supposed to be a weird state, but it reminds me a lot of some of the areas around here. So it kind of has a weird homey feel, and I just like it, and it's kind of bizarre. It's a sketch show, but it's a little bit clever than most, and with their dry comedy and their kind of bizarre sense of humor, and I love it, and I can't get enough. One of the other shows that kind of share a similar sense of humor, but it's a little bit more classy. I really like the show Louie. I should start collecting that as well. I can't find it anywhere though unless I order it, and I hate ordering stuff online. Otherwise I'd probably have complete episodes of all this stuff. And last but not least, I gotta get the 2 other seasons that are out, but I found this at the Goodwill. I have no idea how, because it's the first time I've ever saw it in my life. It's a haunting, and I have a fondness for things that are like reenacted by actors that look nothing like the actual people, but the real people tell the stories. Like, I loved Unsolved Mysteries when it used to come on because of it. I loved America's Most Wanted because they did the same thing. And I love this because it's the same type of format, but it has to do with the paranormal, and I just love this kind of format of like the reenacted shows where they change the names and they probably dramatize stuff worse than what the people are actually saying, but I love it. It's great. It's kind of creepy at the same time because the real people are telling the stories. It's not like those shows where people have like the night vision on and they're just screaming in front of the camera like idiots. But A Haunting, they actually canceled the show. People complained. They brought it back, which is why, because this was the complete seasons, and then they brought it back for 2 more seasons, and now they just aired another season. So I guess I better start collecting again. But this was the whole set at one point, and I absolutely adore it. I just love that Unsolved Mysteries, America's Most Wanted, and A Haunting format where they interview the people and reenact everything that they tell. Alright, I believe that's 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Yes. I hope I was informative, and I hope I didn't talk your ears off or whatever, and I hope I wasn't too awkward because, you know, this isn't the most comfortable thing for me to do. That's why I usually film the video and not me. But thank you guys so much. Feel free to comment or like the video, or if you don't like it, let me know why and leave constructive feedback and not be an asshole or whatever. But you know the drill if you watch the channel. If you're new to this channel and you like this, obviously subscribe. If you didn't like these aren't really the kind of videos I typically do. I typically do gaming videos, but I'm sure when you went on my channel you saw all the other stuff listed. So hopefully you'll find a video you like. So yeah, thank you guys so much for watching, and I appreciate supporting the channel. Share some of the shows you like, or if you like some of these shows, I'd love to hear why you like them. But yeah, I actually had 10. I actually had more than 10, which surprised me, and I didn't think I'd have enough. But thank you guys so much for watching, and for those of you who have shared your 10, or not all of your 10, but even 10 TV shows that you own that you really like, that you like to watch, like, thank you for sharing, which made me want to share. So thank you so much, and I will talk to you on the next video, assuming that you'll watch the next video. Alright guys, take care, bye.